The Devils! The Devils! Okay. Welcome back to Scouching's 2025 NHL Draft Recap Series. Today, we are looking at the New Jersey Devils. The Devils have been one of the more intriguing teams to watch draft and develop over the years, climb their way up the NHL ladder, and really just grow into a really strong franchise, which I think they're not that far away from. Now, this season in the NHL Draft, they did not have a first-round selection, but they did have 6 draft picks, and we'll take a look at them one by one and see what they've got out of them. Conrad Fondonder was the first player that the New Jersey Devils selected this year, and at 50th overall, I think this is a very interesting place to take Conrad Fondonder. I think his season was really up and down, but in terms of individualized talent, high pace, high energy, high skill hockey, Conrad Fondonder is really good at it. There were a lot of moments where I really wished for more, especially off the puck, but at the end of the day, Conrad Fondonder, when he really got his wheels turning, he had some good separation speed, really good skill at high energy pace of play, and this is a player that I think could become a very successful college player. From there, we'll see what happens, because this is a guy who his best moments are really strong, but to me, he kind of disappeared for stretches. He fought some injuries this season. This is an upside pick from the New Jersey Devils. He's a player that was in my first round to start the season. I didn't see enough out of him consistently to keep him in that range, but I can see how if you really believe in the upside and really believe in the brightest moments, this is a solid range to take a flyer on Fondrych. With 63rd overall, they got a player that was in my top 50 in Ben Keven. Ben Keven is a player who I think really needs to round out his game. He's definitely a very pacey, skilled winger with the puck on his stick and has some aggressive moments off of it, but working as a part of a unit, working on the cycle, and not just bombing shots on net from the perimeter and using his line mates a little bit more, that's a big area that I think that really needs to be explored more with Keven over the next little while. But I mean, this is a kid who I think has a lot of individualized talent. He's a really good aggressive skater off the puck, really good energy, and was one of the best puck carriers up the ice, at least in my data sample this season. So Keven is a player that I think has a pretty low floor. He's not very projectable as he is now, but you still see moments of that quickness and agility and skill level and confidence that I think could take him a ways, especially for a 63rd overall draft pick this year. So a solid pick for me here. Even though he wasn't the highest ranked player at that time, at 63, it's a solid pickup. At 90th, they drafted Mason Moe. Now, Mason Moe really played a lot of the season, at least in the games that I saw, with Riker Lee, who ended up as a first-round draft pick, and Mason Moe flirted with my list all season long. He's a player who I'm not really sure projects the pace of play, the physical resilience, and the skill level needed to be an NHL player, at least not right now, but I could very easily see Mason Moe turning into a really strong scoring college forward. He's got a wicked shot that he really loves to use, but he doesn't waste it from the perimeter. He's got some decent playmaking ability as well, working off of a guy like Riker Lee really well, and he's a player that I'm not extremely familiar with from seeing him this season, but I did watch him in isolation here and sort of thought there was a nice foundation that maybe there's something to be exploited here in the future with him, but it's just going to be a matter of meeting that NHL floor of pace and skill to play the style of play that he wants to play. So time will tell, but an interesting pickup here at 90th for the Devils. A few picks later at 99, they drafted Trenton Bennett, and well, he's the biggest goalie available this season, and Trenton Bennett did not allow a whole lot of goals this season considering his workload. The other thing about Trenton Bennett that I also want to bring up is the fact that he's going to St. Lawrence University, which I don't think there's a whole lot of goaltending in the way of him playing a lot of games there, so who knows? I feel like he could get a lot of reps in the NCAA relatively quickly. He's 6'8", and he takes up a lot of the net, and he played for the Owen Sound Attack for a few games this year, and as they do, they allowed a lot of shots on net, and he saved a lot of them. And if you get a goalie, then you get a goalie. So good for the Devils, we'll see what happens, but interesting one to pick up, even if he is a re-entry. And at 114th, they drafted the player that I had highest on my list of all the players they drafted in Gustav Hilstrom. I love this player. I really think that Hilstrom is not that far behind a lot of the centers that went really high in this year's NHL draft. He has a ways to go, especially offensively with the puck on his stick, in terms of driving offense and doing more more than just keeping it safe and simple and defensively oriented, but oh my god, he's so good at that stuff. He is one of the smartest off-puck defensive centers in this entire draft class. In the data that I did this year, he was the second best player in the faceoff circle out of any draft eligible this year outside of Caleb Desnoyers. While I think he was outmatched in the SHL, still flashed some good skating ability, some good pace of his game, and I think with the frame that he has, you can put some muscle on him, and who knows what he is in 4 years. I think Gustav Hilstrom has a really big ceiling that is a really long ways away, but the smarts and the skill level and the skating ability, it's all so good with him, and for him to go 114th, I don't know. I mean, I think this is the best player that the New Jersey Devils drafted. I've loved him all season. I think he lacks that confidence that a guy like Ben Keven kind of has, that willingness to sort of individually generate offense, but I mean, maybe he could learn that. Even if he doesn't, the defensive and two-way ability there is really promising and really good. I had him just at the end of my first round in a tier in the early second, something like that, and to get him in this range, it makes all the sense in the world to me. At 161st, they drafted David Roosevelt. Now, Roosevelt has caught my eye over the course of this season, watching the Czech League and the international team, and he's a player that I think brings good up and down speed up the ice. He's got some skill, he's got some good one-on-one moments that I've seen, but he just hasn't quite put it all together, honestly. But of all of these Czech guys that were talked about this season, Šíhaš, Kuharčík, all these other guys, Sanička might bring better tools and better skating ability and more intriguing height, but Roosevelt was just fun to watch. Confident, skilled, really good speed up the boards, and really chipped in well at the Czech Pro League and drove pretty good results in the games that I tracked of him there. He's a nice bet, and at 161st, I was pleasantly surprised to see him picked, and maybe there's something here long-term with Roosevelt. Closing things out, the New Jersey Devils drafted, I believe, the only player in this year's draft class that didn't play a single game last year in Siggy Homegrren. I am a little bit surprised that a guy who didn't play a single game this year got drafted. I did go back and watch some Holmgren tape from last season, 23-24, and he was largely at the under 18 level in that video, and he seems fine. Like, there's, again, similar to that sort of Mason Moe, Ben Keven style willingness to sort of play a certain way, but it's not quite there yet, and there's a bit of rough around the edges moments. He wants to be a confident offensive defenseman, you know, deception off of the blue line, working off the half wall, stepping up a little bit. It's just a matter of projecting that to the highest levels of hockey. It's really hard and made even more difficult because he didn't play. So at 178th, it's probably a scout who saw him 2 years ago, sees a lot of promise in him, figures that even if he missed last season, was training, and there might be some intel going on there. Maybe the New Jersey Devils know something that everybody else doesn't. It wouldn't be the first time that that has happened with an NHL team, so we'll see what happens, but Siggy Homegrren is fine. So to sum things up, the New Jersey Devils get a 2B for me. The New Jersey Devils, I think, did a pretty good job amassing good players. I don't think there's anyone here who's like a first-line potential steal that I can't believe this player was available that late. I mean, Gustav Hilstrom is the closest thing to that, and he did go later than I expected him to go, even knowing that I was higher on him than I think everybody else. But with Hilstrom, I see the reasons why with regards to his limited offensive potential, and I do think that there's a longer way to go for him to be an impactful NHL player, but if he gets there, I mean, he could be really, really good. Ben Keven, really good talent. I think the fundamentals of his game are really, really strong. It's just going to be a matter of development and his willingness to sort of tweak his game a little bit to be a little bit more projectable, but it is pretty good as it is. Trenton Bennett, I think, is a pretty decent bet as a goaltender, and, you know, he's 6'8". You can't teach that. And Mason Moe and Siggy Homegrren and David Roosevelt, I mean, at least two of those guys I think are decent bets to become something, but maybe a little bit of a long shot. Siggy Homegrren has not played a game this year, so I don't know what you want me to say. He didn't look like an amazingly, incredibly talented player 2 years ago that everybody has just missed out on, but I could be wrong, and it's 178th overall, so who knows. And with that, we're going to call it. If you liked the video, definitely like and subscribe. If you really liked it, definitely consider a subscription over at Scouching.ca, where you can get access to all kinds of fun data tools and our Discord server and plenty of other fun stuff that you're just not going to find anywhere else on the internet. So check that out at Scouching.ca. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.